My beloved child, your body has been crying out for help, yet you do not realize it. It has begun to wear down. I have seen you lying awake through the night, your eyes fixed on the ceiling in silence, your heart racing as thought chases thought. You wonder why everything seems beyond your control, why joy has become elusive, and why your strength fades even though you have not ceased praying. My child, sometimes prayers are not answered by an outward miracle, but by an inward awakening. I do not only want to lift your burdens, I want to teach you how not to create them again. Every time you try to handle life by your own strength, you open the door to anxiety and fear. And it is they, not I, who are wearing your body down little by little. Do you know, my child, that your body and soul are bound together by a fragile thread called peace? When the soul loses its stillness, the body sends warnings. A headache is not merely the result of sleeplessness. It is the cry of a spirit being suffocated. The pressure in your chest is not just exhaustion. It is a sign that fear has replaced faith. My child, stop for a moment. Breathe. Let me touch you. Let my love flow through every cell, every vessel, every breath. For where my presence dwells, there is life. Where faith abides, there is renewal. You think that if you stop, everything will fall apart. But I tell you, only what does not belong to you will collapse when you rest. Everything I have built for you will stand firm within my grace. You are not called to be a savior. You are called to live in union with me. When you work from peace rather than fear, you will feel a new strength arise. It will not come from caffeine or encouragement, but from the river of living water flowing through a surrendered soul. My child, I see your body silently crying. It does not need more effort. It needs rest. It does not need more striving. It needs my presence. Learn to listen to your body, for it is the temple I chose to dwell in. Every time you ignore its voice, you ignore mine. When your heartbeat feels unsteady, it is a reminder that your heart needs to be aligned again with the rhythm of my spirit. When you feel weary, it is not failure. It is an invitation to stop and be renewed. I do not want to see you wither in the very light I gave you to shine. I want you strong, but with the strength of surrender, not resistance. True strength comes when you learn to sit still and let me work. Let me cleanse you from the fear that doing nothing is useless. In stillness I am at work. In your rest I am fighting for you. In your release I am rebuilding what has been broken within you. You have asked me to bless your journey, but I desire to bless you for the journey of blessing. Sometimes I do not add strength for you to keep going because I am waiting for you to pause so that I may renew it. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. Isaiah 40:31. You cannot soar on the broken wings of worry, nor rise with the heavy hands of control. You must let go and allow the wind of my spirit to lift you. My beloved child, I have seen every tear you have shed in the dark when you thought no one understood, but I understand. I was there when you collapsed from exhaustion, when you hid your pain behind a smile, when you told yourself I'm fine while your heart was breaking. I do not blame you for trying so hard. I simply invite you to stop trying alone. Let me be the breath in your lungs, the beat in your heart, the life in every cell of your being. You cannot heal by avoidance. You are healed only when you allow me to enter the place you fear most. My child, I know you are afraid to stop believing that if you lose control, everything will fall apart, but it is your grasping that causes the cracks. Let me hold your hand. Let me carry what you cannot. I am not calling you to perfection. I am calling you to dependence on grace. When you allow me to live through you, you will no longer struggle to survive. You will truly live. So, my beloved, be still in this moment and listen not with the ears of reason, but with the ears of your soul. For my voice does not thunder through chaos. It whispers in the deepest chambers of your heart. Set aside the noise, the messages, the demands pulling for your attention. Lay down the burdens that seem too urgent to delay, for what I am about to speak is more vital than your very breath. I am not calling you to take on another task. I am calling you to be rescued from the rhythm that drains your soul. Stop now, my child, for in stopping you will finally hear the heartbeat of true life. You have lived so long in the rhythm of having to do that you have forgotten the meaning of being alive. I see how you convince yourself that pain is only temporary, that exhaustion is normal, that a weary body just needs to push a little harder. But my child, those small signals are not random. They are my gentle knocks upon the door of your soul-loving warnings sent to your spirit. Every ache, every heavy breath, every fleeting weakness is not a failure. It is the language I use to say, "My child, stop. I want to touch you, your body." My child is not a tool to be drained to the last drop. It is a temple, the place I have chosen to dwell. When you neglect it, when you ignore its limits, you are forgetting the sacredness I breathed into you from your very first breath. You say you love me, you serve me, but how can you fully serve when the temple I dwell in is cracked and weary? Your body does not ask for much. It only needs to be honored as part of the covenant between you and me. Care for it not out of fear of illness, but out of love for the one who gave it to you as a living vessel of divine life. Do you not realize, my child, that your body speaks on behalf of your soul? When your spirit is suppressed, your body groans. When you hold on to unhealed wounds or burdens not yet released, your body mirrors them through fatigue, pain, and sleeplessness. You can hide sorrow behind a smile, but your body knows no deceit. It is honest to the core. When your soul is weary, it will cry out in its own way. Do not be angry with it. Do not silence it with pills or stubbornness. Listen, because through it I am speaking to you. I have placed within you a perfect warning system, the gentle signs of tiredness, the sudden waves of weakness, the moments you feel your vitality fading. You call it stagnation, but I call it a pause for renewal. If you keep running when my spirit is inviting you to rest, you will lose the deepest voice within you. You will become loud on the outside, but empty within. You will do much, yet bring forth no life. You will touch many, but lose yourself. My child, I did not create you merely to survive. I created you to shine with the fullness of my life. And that light, my beloved, cannot burn within a cracked vessel. You cannot carry my glory in a body that is crying for help. Every time you neglect your sleep, skip your meals, or push through your limits, you dim the lamp in my temple. You think you are serving me by doing more, by pushing harder, but I never asked you to sacrifice your health to prove your devotion. True faithfulness is knowing when to stop, when to breathe in the rhythm of grace, when to trust that while you rest, I am still at work. My dear child, your body is where you and I meet each day. When you sit quietly breathing in and out, with awareness of me, the temple is being cleansed. Each breath you take is a new life I give. Each moment of gratitude rekindles the flame that was fading. Do not take the care of your body lightly. It too is an act of worship. For I dwell not only in your prayers, but in every heartbeat, every movement, every conscious moment. You live with awareness of me. My child, learn to listen to your body with the ears of your soul. When you feel weary, it may be my invitation to come rest in my presence. When your mind feels tangled, it may be a sign that you've stepped out of the rhythm of my spirit. When your heart feels heavy as stone, it may be time to release what no longer belongs to you. See each of these signs as a sacred call, not a punishment. I do not send pain to harm you. I send it to awaken you, for I love you too much to watch you destroy yourself under the illusion of strength. My beloved child, the light within you is nourished through the harmony between soul and body. A soul overflowing with fire while the body grows weary will cause the flame to flicker faintly. Yet when both move together in grace, you will shine effortlessly. The world will see in you not merely a being who knows how to do, but one who knows how to be. And that very presence, calm, radiant, unhurried, will become a living testimony of me. Remember, my child, your body is not the enemy of your soul, it is its faithful companion. When you treat it with reverence, you honor the one who formed it. When you allow it to rest, you are respecting the holiness of my creation. When you eat, sleep, and breathe with gratitude, you are performing a silent act of worship. Therefore, listen for my voice in every heartbeat, in every breath, in even the smallest of signs. Do not dismiss the gentle whispers, for within them lies the tender care of the Creator. Your body is not an obstacle to your spiritual journey. It is the bridge I built for you to reach me through every sense. Care for it, not out of fear, but out of gratitude. Rest not because you are weary, but because you love the one who gave you breath. And when you master the art of listening to both soul and body, you will walk in divine balance, steady, radiant, and alive in my glory. My beloved, in the world you inhabit, the air is tainted with the smoke of fallenness and sin. The earth, once overflowing with life, now bears the scars of decay. I see that your body, once crafted in perfection by my hand, now struggles in an environment saturated with toxins, not only in the food you eat, the water you drink, or the air you breathe, but also in the thoughts and lifestyles humanity has carelessly embraced. Everything around you spreads a kind of sickness that weakens not only the flesh, but also erodes the soul. And that is where the enemy hides. He does not strike with swords or spears, but through distraction and the quiet paralysis of the spirit. The enemy knows he cannot touch your soul when you dwell in me, so he chooses another path. He wears down your body, burdens your heart, clouds your mind amidst meaningless noise. He wants you to believe that exhaustion is normal, that sickness is inevitable, that you must accept a life of frailty. But I say to you, no, my child. I did not create you to crawl through the shadows of weakness, but to walk in the light of abundant life. The enemy seeks to silence your voice, your song, your prayer, your testimony, as one who has been set free. Yet I, the Lord your God, am opening a way of escape, a path that transcends the corruption of this world. I do not promise you a sterile world free from pollution or temptation, but I promise that even in this decaying land, you will be covered by my grace as with invisible armor. You will not be poisoned, for within you I have placed a river of life flowing from my spirit. That living water will cleanse all that the world tries to plant within you. If you will listen, if you will return to me, every plan of the enemy will fail. I do not tell you to rely only on medicine. I invite you into a deeper realm of healing, where the soul is purified and the body renewed from within. My child, do not underestimate the small things. It is within the habits that seem harmless that the enemy sows seeds of destruction. He hides in the meals you rush through without prayer, in the idle conversations that drain your focus, in the nights you stay up working without asking if I am in it. Every small act, when not guided by the Holy Spirit, becomes a door open to weariness, to sickness, to disorder. Yet I do not speak this to make you afraid, but to awaken you. For I have placed within you the power of choice, the choice between life and death, between light and darkness, between my voice and the voice of the world. If you will obey, my child, I will teach you how to live in this world without belonging to it. I will teach you how to eat in grace, not only feeding your body but nourishing your soul. I will teach you how to work in peace, not by striving but by cooperating with the Holy Spirit. I will teach you how to rest in trust, so that each sleep you take becomes an act of faith, a silent declaration that says, "The Lord is watching over me." When you learn this way, your body will no longer be drained, your mind will no longer be scattered, and your soul will begin to shine like the dawn after a long night. Know this, my child, the enemy fears those who know how to rest in me, for in that rest my power is made complete. He wants you busy, exhausted, and confused, because a restless soul cannot hear my voice. But if you choose stillness, you will hear the subtle rhythm of life awakening within you. You will sense my blood flowing through your veins, carrying the energy of divine life. You will feel your body revived, not by medicine, but by my living presence. Do not fear what is happening in the world, my child. Though food is polluted, the air thick with smoke, and human minds clouded with confusion, I remain the pure, unchanging source. Let my spirit be your filter. Before you eat, pray for me to purify it. Before you speak, let me guide you. Before you act, ask, Lord, is this what you desire me to do? If you learn this habit, you will find your body and soul flowing together in the current of true life. I am giving you a way out, but you must walk in it. This way is not a shortcut, but a journey of transformation, a change in how you see, how you think, how you live. It begins when you stop viewing sickness as an enemy and start seeing it as a message from me. Each time your strength fades, it is not the end, but an opportunity for me to touch you deeper. Each time you feel uneasy, it is the bell calling you back to the place of true peace, where you no longer strain, no longer fear, no longer strive to prove. If you listen and obey, my child, you will walk through this season of trial unharmed. The winds may blow, but they will not topple you. Toxins may surround you, but they will not penetrate your soul. Darkness may draw near, but the light within you will shine back and drive it away. I have given you not only the strength to endure, but the power to overcome. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned. Isaiah 4:3-2. Hold fast to this promise, my child. Let it be the shield of your soul in this weary age. The world may crumble, but you do not belong to its ruins. You belong to me, the one who formed you with perfect hands, who sustains you with the breath of grace, and who will lead you through every trial without harm. And when you emerge from this season, you will carry a brighter light, a deeper song, and a stronger heart, the heart of one who has learned to live in the world yet still belongs to heaven. My beloved child, sit down in silence. Do not try to do more, do not strive to understand more, simply allow your heart to grow still. You have been running for too long, letting yourself be carried away by the winds of this world, believing that if you just ran faster, you could escape exhaustion. But I say to you, life does not dwell in speed, but in the rhythm of peace. You were not created to race against time, but to live in harmony with me, the one who governs time itself. Your true strength is not found in constant motion, but in your connection with the source of life. When you pause and rest in me, you lose nothing. You only return to where you truly belong. My child, how many times have you thought you were moving forward, when in truth, you were only circling around endless worries? You pour yourself into work, into striving, into managing and preserving everything, yet the more you do, the more drained you become. You call it responsibility, effort, but deep down it is fear. Fear that if you stop, everything will collapse. But my beloved, I am the one who sustains all things. It is not your hands holding this life together, it is mine holding you. When you rest, the world does not fall apart because I am still at work. Let me show you this. Truth, miracles do not occur when you struggle, but when you surrender yourself into my arms, my child. I see the storm within you, not a storm outside, but one raging in your heart. Winds of anxiety, waves of fear, and thunder of pressure intertwine into a ceaseless roar. You try to keep yourself afloat, paddling with your own strength, not realizing that your resistance is what exhausts you most. The vessel of your soul has been battered too long. Your body is weary from fighting the waves. But my child, I need only to speak one word. Peace, be still, and every storm within you will calm. Peace does not come from mastering the waves, but from letting me reign over the sea within your soul. You think stillness means passivity, But no, my child, stillness in me is the most powerful act of faith. For when you stop amid the storm, you are declaring, I believe that God still holds all things. It is in that sacred moment when you release the wheel that I begin to steer for you. It is when you cease striving that I begin to do what you cannot. You no longer need to fix everything. You only need to believe, to rest, to let me work. I know you have learned how to endure, but not how to rest. You have learned to brace yourself to overcome, but not to lean on me for strength. My beloved, I did not design you to carry this weight forever. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 1:1-8. The rest I offer is not the sleep of the body, but the deep stillness of the soul, where you no longer need to prove yourself, compare yourself, or fear what is to come. In that rest I perform the healing no physician can reach. There are wounds, my child, that time cannot mend, fractures no medicine can seal, for their roots lie not in the flesh but in the heart. Fear, hurt, anger, disappointment, these buried emotions weave invisible cords that suffocate your breath. The body merely mirrors what the soul is suffering. You may tend to your body with medicine, but only I can touch the true source. When you rest in me, my spirit flows like living water through every darkened place within you, cleansing, restoring, and renewing. Imagine, my child, that your soul is a garden and your worries are the acid rain that scorches its tender shoots. When you run without pause, that rain keeps falling day and night, corroding the green of hope. But when you stop, when your heart grows still, my light begins to shine. That light warms the soil, dries the rain, and makes the flowers bloom again. My peace is not loud nor dazzling, it is gentle as the wind, yet strong enough to bring an entire barren field back to life. My child, healing does not always arrive as an instant miracle. Sometimes it comes like the early morning light, when the mist slowly lifts and the sun begins to rise. You may not notice it right away, but with each day you choose stillness, faith, and surrender, something within you begins to awaken. The cells of your body quietly renew themselves. Your heart begins to beat in the rhythm of peace. Your breath grows deeper, warmer. Your face regains its glow, for my light is now shining from within. This is the kind of healing no one can see, yet it is the truest miracle of all. I want you to know you do not have to fight alone. The storm inside you is not an enemy to be destroyed, but a bell calling you back to me. Each time you feel exhausted, take it as a sign that you have stepped out of the rhythm of grace. Stop, breathe. Whisper softly, Lord, I return. With that single word, I will come at once. I will stand in the heart of your storm, stretch out my hand and speak, peace, be still. Then the winds will quiet, the waves will rest, and you will know that I have never left your side. And when the sea within you grows calm, your body too shall be renewed. For your soul and your body are two halves of the same melody. When one falls out of rhythm, the other loses its harmony. But when both flow together in the song of peace, you become a living hymn, gentle yet strong. You will walk not out of fear, but out of love. You will speak not to be heard, but to share light. And those around you will see it. They will know that you have met me, that you have been healed. My beloved, now sit still. Do nothing, just let me work. Let the storm subside. Let the waters of your heart grow clear and still. Let my light reach the depths within you. When you cease striving, I can act. When you are silent, I can speak. When you rest in me, you will not only be healed, you will become an instrument of healing itself. My dear one, do you not see that your mind and your emotions are the very keys that open or close the gates of life within you? What you think, what you feel, each touches every cell, every vein, every heartbeat. When bitterness enters your heart, it stains not only your spirit, but seeps like poison into your bloodstream. When you hold on to fear, anxiety, and unhealed pain, they begin to drain the life force I placed within you. Then your body weakens, your breath shortens, and your sleep grows restless. It is not that I have withdrawn, but that these burdens have blocked the flow of my grace that longs to move freely through you. Do not underestimate your emotions, my child. They are not as invisible as you think. They carry energy, the energy of life when you love, or the energy of destruction when you harbor hate. Bitterness is the poison a soul drinks, while hoping another will suffer. Fear is a chain that binds you to what you long to escape. Anxiety is the constant noise that keeps you from hearing my voice. The enemy knows this well. That is why he sows in you the seeds of doubt, pain, and dissatisfaction to make you grow weak without even noticing. But I have prepared another way for you, a higher path where the wind of my spirit blows through every corner of your being, cleansing sorrow and restoring true strength. Forgive, my child, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. Forgiveness does not erase the memory. It cuts the chain that keeps you bound to the past. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is proof that you have chosen the strength of heaven over the frailty of the flesh. I know there are wounds still bleeding, memories that still ache. But when you release your right to hold them tight, you open the door for me to enter. Only then can true healing begin. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the fresh flow of life so that my energy may move through you like clear water running through a dry and weary land. My child, do not try to control what lies beyond your reach. The more tightly you cling to everything, the more weary and desperate you will become. I have not called you to be the master of your own life, for you already have one who fulfills that role for you. Entrust to me what you do not understand, the outcomes you cannot change, and the people you cannot transform. Let me carry the heavy part. You only need to do what has been entrusted to you with a faithful heart, and I will take care of the rest. When you stop trying to control you, do not lose power. You simply return it to its rightful owner, me. And now, my child, speak words of life. Declare my words over your own body and soul. For my word is not a fleeting breath of wind, but a seed carrying divine vitality. Every promise in Scripture is not just sound, it is creative energy. When you speak it, it does not drift away into the air. It enters into you, touching every cell, awakening every place that has lain dormant. Speak, I am healed. Speak, I am covered by grace. Speak, the joy of the Lord is my strength. For when you proclaim these words, you activate the current of heaven's energy, making my promises tangible within your very being. My child, joy in me is not a passing emotion. It is an eternal flame, ignited by faith. This joy does not depend on circumstances, but on the awareness that I am still with you. When you choose joy, you are choosing strength. When you smile amid hardship, darkness flees and angels rejoice. That joy is the divine current running through your soul, sending life into every place that has gone numb. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. Proverbs 1:7-2. These words are not only a spiritual truth, but a law of life itself. So choose joy, not because your life is perfect, but because the perfect one lives within you. Choose to smile even when tears remain on your cheeks. Choose to give thanks even when you have not yet seen the miracle. For gratitude and joy are the wings that lift you out of the pit of despair. When you rejoice in the Lord, you build a spiritual wall around yourself, a wall stronger than any medicine, more enduring than any plan. It guards your soul in safety and keeps your body in health. My child, every day is a choice between peace or anxiety, forgiveness or bitterness, joy or sorrow. Each choice determines what will grow within you. If you sow complaint, you will reap weariness. If you sow faith, you will reap strength. If you sow gratitude, you will reap peace. But if you sow joy, you will reap abundant life. I have given you the power to sow, and I promise to send the rain that brings your season to bloom. Remember, my child, I never called you to be strong alone. I called you to partner with grace. Every time you choose to forgive, to surrender, to rejoice, you are stepping into that flow of grace. And grace, when allowed to work, transforms every wound into a testimony of glory. It makes you more radiant, lighter, and freer than before. Therefore, my child, today I invite you into a new way of living, a life of inner peace, where wounds begin to close, where the body is restored, and the soul sings again the song of life. Let my joy flow through you, for it is not merely gladness of spirit, but the very energy that nourishes your body. When you choose to rejoice in the Lord, you will be like a tree planted by streams of water whose leaves do not wither, and whatever you do shall prosper. My beloved, it is time for you to awaken and examine what you are feeding into the very body I have created. That body is not yours, it is mine, the temple I have chosen to dwell in. Yet I see how you no longer treat it as a treasure. You have allowed the world to teach you how to eat, how to drink, how to live, things that may seem convenient, but are quietly draining the life I breathed into you. You think prayer alone is enough, but prayer must walk hand in hand with obedience. You cannot ask me for healing while continuing to nurture what brings decay to your body. My child, what you take into your body is not merely food, it is the seed of life or death. Every bite, every sip is a spiritual choice. When you eat what I have created, grains, vegetables, fruits that spring forth from the soil I have blessed, you are partaking of life itself. For my word still echoes through every fiber of the earth, every drop of dew, every seed that grows. But when you choose what man has distorted, laced with chemicals and steeped in greed, you are taking in what no longer bears my mark. The food may appear pleasing to the eye, but if it lacks the life I breathed into it, it will darken your spirit, weigh down your body, and weary your mind. I do not speak these words to make you extreme, but to awaken you to the sacred truth hidden in the simplest things. The way you eat, drink, and breathe, all are forms of worship. When you eat with gratitude, you honor the giver of life. When you choose what is pure, you say to me, I cherish the body you have given. But when you eat in haste, drink for indulgence, or breathe without awareness, you turn my temple into a place cluttered with what does not belong to heaven. Listen to your body, my child, it is crying out. The sudden aches, the heaviness, the unexplained fatigue are not merely physical symptoms. They are the voice of a temple-polluted warning that the stream of life is being obstructed by what you have consumed. I did not design you to live by medicine, but by my word. That word still lives in the nature around you, in the soil, the water, the plants, the wind, the light. Each time you choose what is natural, you are choosing me. Each time you choose what is artificial, you are aligning with the distortion of the world. I see you drinking what the world calls awakening, yet it lulls your soul into slumber. Sweet on the tongue, but bitter in the bones, these drinks promise energy, but steal your peace. They make you alert for a moment, but leave you drained for hours. They give an illusion of control, but in truth they bind you in dependency. Let them go, my child. Let pure water, the same element I used to form the seas, the rivers, and the blood flowing in your veins, return to its rightful place. Let my water cleanse you from within, both body and soul. The world will call my words too simple, but the truth of heaven is always simple. I've given you fruit, seed, vegetables, pure water, and fresh air, treasures humanity has forgotten while chasing artificial comfort. Every time you choose living food, you revive the original covenant between me and mankind. I give you every seed-bearing plant and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. Genesis 1:2-9. You see, from the very beginning, food was never meant to be merely physical sustenance, but a sacred communion between the Creator and His creation. I desire your body to be as light as your spirit, but that cannot happen while you fill yourself with what clouds your blood burdens your breath and dims the light in your eyes. Return to simplicity to meals, blessed with gratitude to sips of water, taken with reverence to breaths, drawn with awareness of my presence. When you eat, eat in peace. When you drink, drink with thanksgiving. When you breathe, remember that it is I who dwell in that very breath. Every small act becomes sacred when done in the consciousness of me. My child, your body is a holy garden, and whatever you bring into it becomes a seed. If you sow poison, do not be surprised when your harvest is weariness and disease. But if you sow life things pure and blessed by me, you will witness restoration little by little. You will see strength return, your skin glow again, your mind clear, and your sleep grow deep. It is not magic, it is my original order being restored within you. When you honor your body, you are inviting me to dwell more fully within it. My beloved child, the enemy knows this well. He does not strike you with blatant evil, but with subtle compromises, a delicious bite, lacking life, a convenient choice, laced with poison. He does not make you fall at once, but weakens you little by little, dulling your will and weighing down your spirit. Yet I am calling you back, not through law, but through love. I do not ask you to abstain out of coercion, but because I desire your true freedom, freedom from the dependencies that do not belong to heaven. Remember, reverence is not found only in songs or prayers, but in how you treat your body. When you choose what is right, even in the smallest things, you worship me through your very actions. When you refuse what your soul knows is unwholesome, you are saying to me, I trust you more than the world. And that faith, even when expressed by choosing a glass of water over a drink filled with chemicals, makes heaven smile. And I promise you this, if you honor me through what you consume, you will see the difference. Your blood will flow in the rhythm of peace. Your breath will grow deep and calm. Your skin will glow with the light that reflects me. The sickness that lurks around you will find no doorway in, for I will build a wall of light around you. Where there is light, darkness cannot dwell. My beloved, begin again today. You do not need to change everything in a day, only one decision at a time. Choose life over convenience, purity over compromise, me over the world. And when you are faithful in small things, I will bless you in greater ones. For I do not merely want you to live, I want you to live abundantly whole in soul, body, and mind. Return to the source of life, and you will see that miracles often begin with the simplest acts, a grateful heart and a body honored as the temple of God. I formed you with my creative hands, shaping you with every joint and muscle, designed for motion, for walking, for harmony with the rhythm of the earth. You were made to move with the wind, to walk in the light, to labor with joy. When you forget movement, your body begins to fade. When you allow stagnation to reign, the light within you dims. I did not create you for idleness, but to live in the dynamic flow of creation. Each heartbeat is my whisper saying, live. Every breath you take is a sign of my presence within you. But if you sit still too long, you will lose the melody of life that I composed within your being. Rise, my child. Let your feet walk again, let your blood flow freely. Let your body feel the vitality I have placed within it. In the morning, when dawn first touches your roof, offer me your first steps of the day. Open the door and step under the light. I once called into existence with the words, "Let there be light." You may not realize it, but that light does not only shine upon your skin, it shines into your soul. It awakens weary corners of your mind, dissolves the long night of worry, and sets your heart beating with joy again. When you walk in the light, you walk in healing. Breathe deeply, my child. Let the air I give, pure and full of life, flow into your lungs like a river of grace. Every breath is a miracle. You inhale my love and exhale your fear. You inhale peace and exhale anxiety. The air you breathe does not only nourish your body, it purifies your soul. Step outside the four walls and feel me in the breeze, in the scent of the grass, in the song of the birds, in each ray of the morning Sunday. You will realize, I have never been far, I have always been within your very breath. Lift your hands to heaven, not to ask for something, but to give thanks. When you raise your hands, you are not merely stretching your body, you are opening your heart. When you say, "Thank you, Lord, for this body," you are activating the miracle of gratitude. Gratitude opens the door for divine energy to enter healing places that have been closed for too long. Give thanks to me, not only when you feel strong, but even when your body is still weak. For thanksgiving in weakness is the purest act of faith, and that faith, even as small as a mustard seed, is enough to move the mountain of sickness away from you. My dear child, do not wait until healing comes to give thanks, for gratitude, in the midst of pain, is the very beginning of true restoration. When you offer thanksgiving, even within your limitations, I will enlarge your boundaries. When you say, "Thank you for this body, even though it is not yet whole, I will renew it in the light of grace." For I do not only desire your healing, I desire that you recognize the worth of the gift called life itself. My beloved, take care of your sleep. Sleep is the sacred ceremony of the body, the hour when the soul returns to rest in my embrace. While you sleep, I am at work. While you rest, I restore. Let the night become the time when I touch you in silence. Do not let the noise of the past day follow you into the night. Before closing your eyes, whisper, "Lord, I commit my spirit into your hands." Then let me lull you into peace with the stillness of heaven. Child, your body was designed to move in rhythm with me, not with the rush of the world, but with a steady, gentle living pace. Let your body follow that divine rhythm when you walk, when you work, when you rest. Do not let laziness or fear hold you still too long, nor the frenzy of life exhaust your strength. Both extremes steal the balance I have ordained. Seek the rhythm of grace, where every motion flows from peace and every pause holds meaning. Movement. My child, is not merely exercise, it is prayer in motion. Every step you take upon the earth bears the imprint of my presence. When you walk with the awareness that I am beside you, even the most ordinary paths become holy ground. Let your feet carry you not only to move, but to commune with me. Speak with me as you walk. Let the wind carry your prayers upward, and let the light answer with peace that settles deep within your heart. When you begin to live with such awareness, to eat in gratitude, to breathe in trust, to walk in joy, and to sleep in peace, you will see your body transformed. Every cell will begin to sing, every joint will feel light, every breath will become a prayer. You will feel new strength flowing through you, not just health, but the abundant life of the Spirit moving freely within. And my beloved, what I desire is not only a healthy body, but an awakened soul within that body, a soul that hears the heartbeat of the life I have planted in you. A soul that knows each breath, each heartbeat, each step is a gift not to possess, but to offer. Live this way, my child. Eat with gratitude, move with joy, rest with trust, and love with freedom. When you learn to care for your body as an act of worship, you will find that the communion between you and me deepens. For body and soul are not separate, they are two notes in the same symphony. When your body is strong, your soul can hear my voice more clearly. When your soul is at peace, your body responds with vitality. This is the harmony I intended from the beginning, the harmony that sin once shattered, but which I now long to restore within you. My beloved child, listen carefully for my voice in the stillness of your heart, for I do not come to condemn, but to invite you into life. I do not reveal your faults to shame you, but to open for you the door of hope. I do not warn you to make you afraid, but to show that there is still a way out, a path of restoration where grace and love meet. The enemy wants you to believe it is too late, that your body is too damaged, that your soul has wandered too far to return. But I, the one who formed you from dust, have the power to breathe life into that dust once more. Nothing is ever too late as long as you are willing to turn back. Child, the enemy uses sickness to sow fear, but I use it to call you home. He whispers that your body is fading, that life is slipping away each day. But I declare, if you return, if you surrender, I will restore all that has been lost. I will make your immune system strong as a fortress, build a wall of fire around you, so that no poisoned arrow of disease may pierce you. I will purify your blood, cleanse every stream that flows through your heart, and let life surge again. I will renew the energy in every cell, awaken the youth that has long slept, and cause you to walk in the strength of your early days, not only in body, but in spirit and in faith. But my child, a miracle is only complete when you cooperate with me. Grace cannot flow into what is closed. I can give life, but you must open the door to receive it. You must choose to step out of old habits, the very things that have weakened you, but which you still cling to. You must decide to leave behind the lifestyle that has wearied your soul and exhausted your body. I will not force you, for love never coerces. I only invite, and you must be the one to reach out your hand and take mine. My child, I have set before you two paths, one that leads to life and one to destruction. One is blessing, the other a curse. I will not choose for you, but I long for you to choose life. Life is not merely breath, it is the state of a soul that moves in rhythm with heaven. When you choose life, you choose to let my light shine through you, healing both the inner and the outer parts of your being. But if you choose to continue down the path of indulgence, bitterness, fear, and disobedience, you open the door to darkness yourself. It is not because I punish, but because you have stepped away from the source of light. My child, I never abandon you in the midst of trial. I do not show you the abyss without extending my hand to save you. When I speak of danger, it is, so you may know there is a wall of safety I have built, one you need only step within. When I call you to change, it is not a burden but an invitation to freedom. The enemy wants you to believe that change is impossible, that you have gone too far, but I declare this. If you turn even slightly, if you whisper, Lord, help me, I will come at once. I will make sickness return what it has taken, and I will cause what was stolen to be restored twofold. My child, I want you to know that your body was designed to heal itself when it lives in alignment with my order. When you eat rightly, think rightly, live in peace and gratitude, your body will recover like a green tree nourished by pure water. But when you let bitterness, fear, and stress take over you, cut off the flow of life. I did not create you to fight against yourself, but to live in communion with me, so that my spirit may move through you like the current of life itself. My child, I will cleanse your bloodstream not only through physical purification, but through renewal of the mind. For some diseases do not begin in the flesh, but in the soul. When you forgive, when you believe, when you live in joy, I will make your body flow like cool water, pure, steady, and full of vitality. I will make your mind clear, enabling you to discern what belongs to light and what proceeds from darkness. I will cause your eyes to see the world with hope, your hands to labor in peace, and your feet to walk in stability. My child, do not fear that you are too weak, too late, or too broken to begin again. With me, it is never too late. When I breathed into dust, life began, and that breath still lives in you. I can breathe again into what has withered, and the dead will rise. I can renew your heart and make you feel reborn. As you obey, I will restore you day by day. The old will pass away, and the new, strong, radiant, and full of life will emerge. My child, imagine the moment when you look back and say, truly the Lord has kept me. On that day you will understand that every warning of mine was not to make you afraid, but to save you from the pit. Every instruction of mine was not to restrict you, but to set you free. And you will know that everything I have done, even the correction, even the pain, was born of love. For I love you too much to stand by while you destroy yourself. My child, choose life. Do not wait until your body collapses or your soul runs dry to seek me. Come now while these words still echo in your heart. Step out of darkness, out of old habits, out of what makes you weak. Step into my light where there is no fear, no sickness, no condemnation, only abundant life and true peace. I have placed before you life and death, blessing and curse, and I long for you to choose life. For when you choose life, you not only save yourself, you restore my image within you. You become a living testimony of renewal, a light for those still wandering in the shadows of despair. And when they see you, they will know that there is indeed a living God at work, my beloved child. I, the one who wove you together in your mother's womb, know every thread that forms your being. Nothing in you is hidden from my sight. I know where your soul is wounded, where your body bears burdens, where your mind is lost in dark thoughts. I see not only what appears outwardly, but the deepest layers, those places you dare not face, those corners you hide even from yourself. And there, my child, I am waiting to heal. But before I can bring healing, you must be willing to face the truth. Not the softened version you tell yourself to make it easier to bear, but the raw, unfiltered truth, the one that may draw tears from your eyes. Truth does not come to wound you, but to cut away what is slowly killing your soul. I am the physician of the spirit, and at times, to save a life, I must touch the deepest wound. You cannot be healed while you are still hiding. No one can be cured of what they refuse to acknowledge. My child, often the issue does not lie in the body, but in something deeper, in the roots of thought and fear and memories you have never truly released. A soul filled with anger will cause the body to wither. A mind consumed by anxiety will drain its own life force. You may take medicine, you may seek counsel, yet until you allow my light to reach the root, the true sickness will remain merely changing its form. I do not heal the surface, I heal from the root. I do not patch what is broken, I make it new from within. My child, there are things you hold tightly because you think they are part of who you are, yet they are draining the very life out of you. Habits, thoughts, fears, you call just natural. These are the invisible chains. I have whispered gentle warnings many times, but you dismissed them as coincidence. You said, "That's just my personality," but I say, "No, that is bondage." You said, "This is how I cope," but I say, "No, that is what is breaking you." You cannot ask me to heal you while clinging to what is harming you. For me to act, you must be willing to let go. Letting go, my child, is not loss. It is the opening through which new life is born. You think that if you release your old ways, you will feel empty. But no, I will fill that emptiness with life. You think that if you face the truth, you will collapse. But no, in that moment you will be free. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. John 8:3-2. Truth may wound for a moment, but it will save you from a lifetime of pain. I know, my child, you fear to look straight into what exhausts you. You have grown accustomed to your comfort zone, a place not good but familiar. You have lulled yourself with excuses. Everyone is like this. I'm not strong enough to change, but I did not create you for compromise. You were made to walk in freedom and power. You are the child of the living one, and within your veins flows the life of heaven. All you must do is turn toward the light and say, "Lord, I am ready." When you say those words, all of heaven stirs, for no prayer moves me more deeply than the cry of a soul truly willing to change. Do not fear my correction, my child. I do not come to condemn, but to set free. When I expose the root of the problem, it is not to shame you, but to show you what has been imprisoning you. As a surgeon removes a tumor to save a life, so I remove what corrupts your soul. It may hurt for a moment, but soon you will feel lighter, breathe deeper, and live truer. Listen closely. My child, healing does not come merely when you ask for an instant miracle, but when you agree to walk with me through the journey of transformation. Every step you take in obedience is one step closer to restoration. When you change how you think, your body will begin to change. When you change how you love, your heart will awaken. When you change how you believe, my light will fill every cell within you. Do not merely wait for me to perform a miracle. Create the miracle with me through faith and action. My child, sometimes the problem does not lie in what you do, but in what you refuse to let go of. You have held on to harsh words, old wounds, and the judgments you have made against yourself. You have punished yourself by denying your own happiness. But I say to you, forgive yourself. You cannot move forward while still condemning your own soul. I have already forgiven you long ago, even before you knew your fault. Now I only need you to believe that you are worthy of healing. When you believe this truth, every chain that binds your mind will begin to break. My child, let me take you to the root. Sometimes the source of your pain is not in the present, but buried deep in memory in your childhood, in an unkind word spoken long ago in a moment when you felt unloved. I will bring you back to those places, not to make you suffer again, but so that I may touch and heal them. I will whisper, "Little one, do not be afraid anymore, for I am here." And when you allow me to reach the very depths of your pain, you will witness a miracle. Every fragment of your soul will begin to come together again, forming the image of one who is truly free. My beloved child, you cannot step into the future while clinging to the past. You cannot carry the remnants of old memories and unhealed wounds into the new season I have prepared for you. The new season requires a new being. And that new being can only emerge when you allow me to cleanse the very roots of your sorrow. I will teach you to see every wound as a lesson, not a punishment. I will turn your scars into testimonies of my power. And on that day you will tell your story not through tears, but with a grateful smile. My child, the truth may make you tremble, but it is the doorway to freedom. You cannot keep avoiding it. You must be brave enough to look straight into it, to face yourself and say, "Lord, shine your light upon what is still dark within me." When you do this, darkness will no longer have the right to remain. For my light not only drives away the shadows, it transforms every once dark place into a land of life. And then you will stand firm and strong, not only healed, but also made into one who brings healing to others. My beloved, I know you may be weary or afraid, but do not run from me. Each time you face the truth, with courage I stand beside you, place my hand upon your shoulder and say, "You are not alone. You will not fall, for I will uphold you. You will not lose, for I will replace what you release with something far more precious. I will turn ashes into diamonds, tears into oil of gladness, fear into strength. All I ask is that you say, 'Yes, Lord, I am ready for you to show me the truth.' And then you will see the miracle unfold. Healing will no longer feel distant, but will become a living reality within you. Light will flow through you. Pain will fade away. Your breath will grow deeper, your heart lighter. For when I heal from the root, I do not merely restore what was damaged, I make all things new. You will walk as living proof that nothing is too deep for me to reach, nothing too broken for me to restore. My precious one, some of what you endure does not come from natural causes, but from an unseen battle, a war invisible to the human eye. There are illnesses that do not arise from bacteria or weather, but from the arrows of the enemy aimed at your body to weaken your spirit. He knows that if he can make you weary, afraid, and doubtful, your soul will grow faint and your faith will falter. But my child, I have not left you defenseless. I have given you the power to stand firm, the authority to speak, and my name, the name above all names, to rebuke every force of darkness. My child, the enemy does not fear cries of despair or timid prayers. He fears the voice of faith. When you proclaim my word, heaven and earth must listen. When you rise and speak in my name, the powers of darkness tremble and flee. Remember, you are not merely a fragile being of flesh. You are the temple of the Holy Spirit, the vessel of my glory. Within you burns the fire of heaven, and that fire, if you allow it to be kindled, can consume every chain the enemy has tried to bind you with. My child, never take lightly the battle of the Spirit. The enemy never attacks openly. He always seeks to slip in through the cracks, striking from where you are least on guard. He sows weary thoughts into your mind, making you believe that sickness is your fate, that you are powerless, that your prayers are meaningless. But I declare to you, you have the authority to bind and to loose. When you rebuke in my name, darkness must retreat. When you proclaim my word, no force can withstand it. This is not philosophy nor mere symbolism, but a spiritual law, a law that operates as surely as the breath of life itself. Remember, my child, faith is not a feeling but a position. You do not need to feel strong in order to fight. You only need to know where you stand. Stand firm in my truth, for only in the light can darkness find no hold. The enemy always strikes at the places you forget to guard, at the words you speak, the thoughts you entertain, the emotions you leave unguarded. But when your mind is set on my word, you are building a wall of fire around your soul. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, for I have written this into the law of heaven. Do not fear what happens within your body. When you feel weak, it is not a sign of defeat, but a reminder that you must lean on my strength. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. Let your weakness become the dwelling place of my power. Let your prayer cease to be a cry of desperation and become a declaration of authority. Say, in the name of Jesus Christ, I am healed. And when you speak with true faith, all of heaven will echo amen. My child, this is not poetic imagery. This is law in the spiritual realm. Just as gravity pulls all things toward the earth, the law of faith draws heavenly power down to earth. When you speak my word in faith, it will not return void, but will accomplish what I have sent it to do. Each time you declare, I am protected in the name of the Lord, you are raising a fortress around yourself. Each time you proclaim, no weapon formed against me shall prevail, you are locking the doors against the enemy. Each time you worship amid your pain, you are scattering the salt of life over the ground once claimed by darkness. When the attack comes, do not look to your own strength, look to my name. You cannot win by human willpower, but you can triumph through the power of the one who conquered death. When I said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me, I gave that same authority to you, so that you may not live as a victim, but as an heir. When you speak in my name, heaven moves. When you believe, angels are dispatched. When you stand firm, every scheme of darkness is broken. Know this, my child, the enemy trembles before a steadfast soul. He may weary you, but he cannot defeat you unless you surrender. He may touch your body, but he cannot reach your spirit when you stand in me. He may stir fear, but he cannot extinguish the light when you guard your faith. For faith is not passive belief, it is a weapon. When you answer fear with faith, you have already won the first battle. Fight not with your own strength, but with my word. The enemy cannot stand against Scripture. When you declare, the Lord is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust, Psalm 9:1-2, you are building a spiritual stronghold. When you read my word, not only your ears hear it, heaven and earth hear it too. My word is a double-edged sword cutting through every unseen chain. Do not let your mouth fall silent, for silence in battle is surrender. Speak, sing, proclaim not in fear, but in authority. Do not think that victory comes only when the sickness leaves. True victory begins when your soul no longer fears. When you stand in peace, even while the pain remains, you have already overcome. For victory is not just an outcome, but an attitude of faith. When you believe that I am at work, when you refuse to doubt, my love, darkness loses its grip. The enemy trembles before one who knows how to rest in grace. My beloved child, I call you back to your rightful place of authority. Put on the full armor of the Spirit, the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. Rise not as a victim, but as a warrior of light. When you pray, pray as one who has already won, not as one searching for hope. For in me you do not fight for victory, you fight from victory. The enemy will try in many ways, but when you stand in my name, he cannot touch you. Though storms rise and pain knocks at your door, say, I belong to Christ, and I will cause my peace to cover you like an invisible shield. You will see my hand move, not with noise, not with display, but with such power that your heart will bow in worship. Then you will understand it was not you who defeated the sickness, but I, through you, who accomplished it. And when the storm passes, you will stand in the light, knowing that it was faith that kept you standing firm. You will say, the Lord fought for me. The Lord made evil retreat. Then you will understand more deeply that in every trial you were never abandoned. For I, the living one, have always stood beside you, fighting with you and winning for you. My beloved child, do you not realize that everything you see and every sound you hear quietly engraves itself upon your soul? Your eyes and ears are not merely doors of perception, they are gateways to the Spirit. Through them light or darkness enters, peace or fear takes residence. This world is full of noise, negative words, chaotic images, news saturated with fear. They are like murky streams that, when allowed to flow continually into the mind, slowly stain the heart that was once pure. And when the heart becomes polluted, the body cannot remain whole. My child, have you ever noticed that after watching something full of anxiety, your heart beats faster, your breath shortens, and peace seems to leave you? That is not coincidence. What you allow into your mind gradually shapes the rhythm of your soul. If you constantly listen to news of crisis, crime, and sickness, you will begin to believe that the world is only darkness. And when that belief takes root, it plants within you the seed of fear, a small seed, yet powerful enough to kill hope. Fear is the doorway through which the enemy enters. It not only paralyzes the spirit, but also harms the body. But my child, I did not create you to live in an atmosphere of fear. I made you to breathe in the air of faith, where peace is your breath and life fills the air around you. The world may roar with noise, but within me, there is always a still place where you can dwell in safety. You cannot control everything outside, but you can choose what you allow inside your heart. Guard your heart above all else, for from it flows the springs of life. Proverbs 4:2-3. My child, your spirit is like a garden. If you sow into it negative words and dark images, it will grow fear, doubt, and despair. But if you plant my word, truth, hope, and light, you will see faith bloom, peace take root, and joy bear fruit. Every word you hear, every image you behold is a seed. The issue is not how much you hear, but which seeds you allow to take root. Do not let your heart become a container for the world's fears. Do not let the news, the rumors, or the complaints of others take the place of my voice within you. The enemy is subtle. He does not always come with obvious evil, but with worry disguised as wisdom. He makes you believe that you must know everything to stay safe, but in truth he only wants you to believe that I am not enough. You do not need to know all that happens, you only need to know one thing: I am still on the throne. My beloved one, choose carefully what you watch and what you listen to. Learn to turn off the noises that drain your soul and open yourself to the sounds of heaven. Instead of listening to fear, listen to testimonies of grace. Instead of fixing your eyes on what is collapsing, lift them toward what I am renewing. Seek words of encouragement, songs of worship, stories of healing and miracles, for they are not mere sounds but streams of light that flow into the hidden corners of your soul. When you play songs of praise to me, your spirit rises higher. When you hear my word, your mind is cleansed. When you choose what is good, the energy of life begins to circulate within you. This is not theory, it is a spiritual law. The atmosphere you live in shapes both your soul and your body. A room filled with complaint will weigh you down, but a place filled with prayer will revive you. My child, create for yourself an atmosphere of heaven. Let your home, your workplace, and the very chambers of your heart become spaces filled with my presence. Open your mouth to bless instead of complain, to sing instead of fear, to give thanks instead of worry. When you speak words of blessing, you breathe life into the air around you. When you lift your voice in praise, you raise a wall of spiritual fire that repels the darkness. My child, many seek physical healing while forgetting that the soul too must be purified. They change their diets, their medicines, yet they never change what they allow into their minds. They forget that sickness often does not begin in the body, but in a heart covered by negativity. You may eat well, exercise well, yet if you feed daily on fear and anxiety, you are still poisoning yourself. But a heart filled with peace and faith can strengthen even a weary body. My beloved, when you choose to live in my presence, everything around you begins to shift. Where I dwell, darkness cannot remain. My presence is like a beam of light piercing through heavy air, dissolving all negative energy. When you are in me, your mind grows clear, your words gain power, and your body is renewed. You will realize that what once frightened you can no longer touch you, for you are wrapped in supernatural peace. My child, understand that peace does not come from withdrawing from the world, but from discerning what you allow into your heart. In a world filled with chaos, you can still live in perfect peace if your mind remains fixed on me. When you focus on me, the one who never changes, then, even when everything around you shifts, your spirit will not be shaken. My child, make every day an act of choosing. Choose light over gloom. Choose encouragement over fear. Choose faith over doubt. Each choice is a stone that builds your spiritual fortress. And when you faithfully choose what is right, you will find your body strengthened, your mind lighter, and your soul gently warmed. My child, let me be the very air you breathe. Let my word be the voice you listen to. Let my grace be the light you see. When you live in that atmosphere, miracles will unfold naturally, not because you strive, but because you are living within the current of true life. Disease will lose its dwelling place. Fear will lose its grip, and you will walk in peace. For you will have discovered the greatest secret of healing to live in. My presence is to live in the atmosphere of life itself. My beloved one, treasure every word I speak to you, for they are not mere sounds carried by the wind, but seeds of life sown into your soul. Each word I utter carries the pulse of heaven. It can revive what has withered, mend what has been broken, and awaken hope where it once lay dead. Do not take them lightly, nor let them drift away like whispers lost in the breeze. Hold them, write them down. Let them be carved upon your heart as if inscribed on stone, so that even when time changes, you will remember what I have spoken. My child, begin today. Do not wait until you feel ready, for no one is ever truly ready for grace. One must simply be willing. Delay is the sweetest trap of the enemy. He whispers, tomorrow you will do it. Tomorrow you will pray. Tomorrow you will start anew. But he knows that each day you delay, he claims another piece of ground in your mind and body. Do not let tomorrow steal the miracle that today could bring. When you walk in obedience, you will find strength returning faster than you imagined, not because you are doing more, but because you have realigned yourself with me. I designed healing not as something distant, but as a stream that constantly flows around you, one that only needs you to bend down and let it pour in. Each time you act upon my word, no matter how small, you open a door for that living water to flow freely. When you obey, I do the rest. When you walk in faith, I strengthen you. And when you trust, the impossible becomes possible. You will come to see that miracles do not occur somewhere else, but in the very moment you choose obedience. My child, when healing comes, and it will come, for I have promised it, do not let your heart forget the source of that blessing. Do not think it was your own discovery or medicine or strength that made it happen. All of it comes from me. It is I who soothe the pain, restore the cells, and make your breath light again. Never allow the miracle to become something you take for granted, for ingratitude is the swiftest way for grace to depart. I do not only want you healed, I want you to understand why you are healed. Healing is not an ending, it is the beginning of a new journey, the journey of one who carries light. When I heal you, it is not merely so you may feel well, but so you may become a witness to my power. You are healed to bring healing, saved to lead others to salvation, restored to become a living testimony of my unchanging love. Yet, my beloved, I must remind you, do not return to the old ways that once made you weak. Do not go back to the habits that distanced you from me, to the choices that drained your soul. Many, after being healed, forget the lesson and assume blessings will simply remain. They walk again on the old paths, eat what once brought them sickness, think the thoughts that once weighed them down, and live again in anxiety as before. And in doing so, they fall back into the same pit. I do not want that for you. True healing is not just a healthy body, but a renewed mind and a soul disciplined by peace. My precious one, remember, this grace is not only a gift, it is also an invitation to partnership. When I heal you, I entrust you with the responsibility of keeping that sacred gift. Like a farmer tending his field after the rain, you must continue to cultivate it with gratitude and obedience. Let your life after healing become a song of thanksgiving, a journey of wisdom and holy discipline. Choose what is good, walk in the light, and speak words that give life. And when you have tasted the miracle, do not keep it to yourself. My child, this world is filled with weary souls, people praying the same prayer you once prayed. Lord, please save me. Go to them. Do not merely tell them that I healed you. Show them how you live after being healed. Let your light shine in your calmness, in how you face hardship, in the faith you hold when everything around you shifts. That is the most powerful way for others to know me. My child, write down what I have done for you, not only to remember, but so that generations to come will also be reminded. Let your descendants read and see that the God of their ancestors is not a tale of the past, but the living one who still acts today. Let your testimony become a lamp, guiding others out of the night of doubt. Every word you record, every story you share, will be a seed sown into human hearts, and I will make that seed sprout in its appointed time. Do not think, my child, that I only choose the strong to bear witness. It is those who were once weak who understand the power of healing most deeply. Those who have walked through darkness know the worth of light. You need not be perfect to be an example. You only need to be true, to speak honestly of what I have done. Tell of the journey, the tears, the faith refined through trial. For when others see you once fallen, now standing, they will believe that I can do the same for them. My beloved child, let your life become a song of gratitude. Every breath you take, every step you walk, is an opportunity to praise me. When you eat, remember that it is a meal I have provided. When you sleep, remember that the rest you enjoy comes from the peace I have secured for you. When you work, remember that the strength sustaining you flows from me. Gratitude will keep your heart humble, and humility will keep you within the circle of blessing. My child, teach others what you have learned. Show them how you have heard my voice, how you have surrendered, and how you have been healed. Do not only speak of miracles, but speak of the journey. For what the world needs is not distant tales of wonder, but the living testimony of a soul that has known pain, fallen, grown weak, and yet has been lifted again by the hand of God. Let your story become a bridge for others to find hope. When you live this way, I will use your life as a living testimony for the world to see that when a child learns to listen to the voice of the Father, life itself flows back in. You will not need to speak much. The peace within you, the light in your eyes, and the quiet strength in your every gesture will speak on your behalf. People will ask, "What makes you different?" And you will smile and say, "Because the Lord has touched me, and I have heard His voice." My beloved child, your journey is not over. This is merely the dawn of a new season, a season in which you no longer only receive but also give. No longer only are saved, but become a bearer of salvation to others. Live as one entrusted with a divine mission. Hold fast to my words. Do not let them remain on the page, but let them become the rhythm of your life. For in living out my word, you will experience the fullness of life I have promised. My beloved one, you have prayed for protection, and I have heard. You expected me to respond with a shining shield or a visible miracle, but instead, I chose to draw near and speak to you through warning. For sometimes protection does not come as a wall that blocks danger, but as a gentle voice calling you back to the right path. You have asked me to guard you from harm, and now what you hear is the very answer to that prayer. I am preventing the storm before it arrives. I am showing you the way out before the invisible cords of sickness tighten around you. But, my child, a warning cannot save those who refuse to turn. Do you believe that I, the one who formed your breath, know you better than you know yourself? Do you believe that my love is deeper than the habits you've nurtured for years, stronger than the temptations you think you cannot overcome? I do. Not speak merely to instruct, but to save. I do not warn to instill fear, but to reveal the way of escape. My child, I am opening a path through the forest of distorted living, through the desert of illusions the world has planted in your heart. Will you have the courage to walk this path, though it may not be dazzling or glamorous, knowing it is filled with peace and light? Or will you cling to what is familiar, old patterns, fleeting pleasures, and noisy routines, where my presence cannot dwell? My child, look at your body. It has not betrayed you. It is crying for help. Every fatigue, every ache, every racing heartbeat is a signal I have placed within you to remind you that you have drifted away from the rhythm of divine life. Illness is not always an enemy invading from outside. Sometimes it is a mirror reflecting how you have treated the sacred gift of life I entrusted to you. You have prayed for healing, yet you have spoken harshly of yourself, scolded your own body, and resented the life I have given. Do you not know that words carry the power of seeds? When you speak from anger, fear, or despair, you sow the seeds of sickness into your soul, and when the soil of the heart is watered with bitterness, the fruit cannot be peace. My beloved, I have placed life within your body as a delicate temple. But you have forgotten that every meal, every hour of rest, every word, every thought is an act of worship or desecration. When you consume what harms you, when exhaustion becomes your lifestyle, when distractions draw you away from your spirit, you are secretly offering that temple to things that are not of me. I did not create you to live as one without understanding, chasing what fades while forgetting the eternal source that calls you home. My child, on those nights when you stay awake fearing you might miss something, I am there watching you struggle under the pale light of the screen. You think you are living, yet you are quietly draining away. When your mind is consumed with trivial things, your soul is being pulled away from its rest. I do not blame you for your weariness, but my heart aches because you will not stop. I establish the law of rest not as a restriction, but as a safeguard. When you sleep in peace, your body renews, your mind clears, and your soul is touched by me. But when you resist rest, you resist grace itself. My beloved child, the seeds of hatred you hold within your heart are releasing a poison that no physician can measure. Each time you think of someone with resentment, your blood thickens, your breath grows heavy, and peace departs from you. When I say forgive, I do not mean for you to forget, but to free yourself from the invisible chain that binds your soul. The tighter you hold it, the deeper you sink. Forgiveness is not denial of pain. but the act of placing that pain into my hands, the only hands capable of turning a wound into a place where glory is revealed. When you release it, you lose nothing. You merely make space for me to fill. My child, do not think of sickness as punishment. It is a reminder, a gentle bell rung by the wind of my spirit to awaken you to the truth that you have drifted from the fountain of life. I do not desire that you fear illness, but that you listen to it. Disease is only the shadow of something deeper, an imbalance within the soul. When the mind is filled with worry, the body cannot rest. When the heart clings to fear, the breath becomes shallow. When you disconnect from me, the life within you weakens, just as a branch withers when it is cut off from the vine. My beloved, I have not come to condemn you for being weak, but to draw you out from the very thing that harms you. I see your effort, but it is effort made alone. I see you striving to find balance, yet true balance comes only when you center your being upon me. You cannot hold on to life while running away from its source. You cannot ask me for healing while still feeding what destroys you. Let me be the center, my child. Let me teach you how to love your body as a sacred gift. Let me show you how to eat with gratitude, rest in peace, speak with love, and live in my presence. I do not ask you to become perfect overnight. I only ask you to return one step at a time, one habit at a time, one small decision at a time. Begin by listening to your body, by listening to your soul. When you feel weary, do not resist it. Pause and ask, Lord, what are you teaching me? When you feel pain, do not rush to silence it. Let it guide you to its root. Every pain of body or of spirit has something to teach, and when you learn, you will be free. My child, I know there are things you call small habits that are in truth heavy chains. You know what weakens you, yet you say, just this once. But once becomes again, and weariness becomes your normal state. Yet the life I give is not meant for mere survival. It is meant for fullness. I want you not only healed, but strong, clear, free, and radiant with joy. You cannot live that life while still clinging to what drains you. Let go, my child. Let go not out of fear, but because you know I have something better. This, my child, is a call of love, not judgment. I am reaching out my hand before the storm comes. I am speaking before danger knocks. Do not wait until your body collapses or your soul is exhausted to return. Even now, if you hear my voice and respond, I will reverse the flow. I will restore what has weakened, resurrect what has died, and make new what you thought was lost. But it begins when you realize that healing does not only come from without, it begins in how you treat the sacred gift of life I have entrusted to you. My beloved child, listen deeply, for my words today are not a rebuke, but the cry of love urgently calling you home. I have not come to judge your missteps, but to take your hand and lead you away from the path that has drained your strength. I am calling you back not to a place, but to me, to the source of life from which your soul has wandered too far. Darkness cannot overcome light, and no matter how deep you have gone into the corridors of error, if you will but turn and say, Lord, lead me back, my light will pierce every shadow to find you. My child, darkness has no right to remain unless you continue to feed it. What was born from your actions can also be uprooted by your actions, this time under the guidance of my Spirit. I have not abandoned you in the pit of your mistakes. I am only waiting for you to reach out your hand. When you use the will, faith, and freedom I have given you to choose what is right, darkness will lose its ground. Freedom is a sacred gift, and I will not take it back, even when you have misused it. But now I am inviting you to use that very gift to redeem what has been lost, to turn the freedom that once led to your downfall into an instrument of redemption. My child, you must begin again, but not through blind striving, through honesty. Look directly at your ways, not with eyes that condemn, but with the eyes of one who longs to be free. Do not justify what has weakened you. Do not search for reasons to hold on to what is destroying you. I have heard you say, "This is just who I am, I cannot change. It's too late." But my child, those are not truths. They are chains, disguised as acceptance. You were never meant to live under the power of habit or sin. You were meant to rule over them. I have given you my Spirit, the one who not only comforts, but also reveals truth, even the truths that make you uncomfortable. When my Spirit shines light into the hidden corners of your soul, it is not to condemn you, but to heal you. He may show you the small habits you think harmless, a negative thought, a quick temper, a misplaced passion, but these are the roots that have drained your soul of strength. Let him expose them, and when he does, do not argue with me. Do not defend what once caused your downfall, simply because it feels familiar. Familiarity is not peace, my child. My beloved one, you must understand that the enemy has no right to invade your life unless you open the door. He cannot create a door on his own. He only waits for a crack where your heart grows weary, where anger lingers or fear whispers. And when you open even a sliver through a negative thought, an unguarded action or a habit you call harmless, he slips in and plants the seed of chaos. Darkness never arrives in a frightening form. It comes through the ordinary, through the thought of just this once, but once repeated enough, becomes a chain. When you choose bitterness, it clings like a poisonous root in your soul. When you neglect your body, it magnifies fatigue into sickness. When you allow fear to fill your mind, it uses that very fear to manipulate you. And soon, what began as a shadow in one corner becomes a night covering your entire being. But my child, do not tremble, for I say to you, you are not powerless. You were never meant to be a slave to your own choices. Every chain can be broken, for I have given you the key of freedom, my word, my Spirit, and the grace of my Son, who bore every judgment so that you could stand uncondemned. My child, light does not come only when I act, it comes when you choose to stand with me. Every right choice is a step that crushes darkness. Every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, faith over doubt, love over fear, you open the way for light to flood in. You must learn to walk with me daily, not only seek me in distress, for if you call to me only when the storm rages, you will not realize that I have always been the gentle wind surrounding you from the very beginning. My child, learn to bring every choice you make into the light of my presence. Do not rush to decide when your emotions are still aflame. Do not follow the crowd when my voice has not yet stirred within your heart. Do not act merely to please people, and forget that I alone see into the depths of your soul. If a decision makes you hide from my presence, it is never a choice born of light. If a word, a relationship, or a habit cannot stand when placed before me, then have the courage to say no. True wisdom is not found in the noise of the majority, but in the quiet whisper of my Spirit within you. My child, your body is my temple, the dwelling place of my Holy Spirit. Do not treat it as a lifeless object to be used at will. Guard it as a treasure, as a sacred place set apart for holiness. When you eat, do so with gratitude. When you drink, ask your heart, does this nourish or harm the temple of the Lord? When you are weary, do not push yourself beyond what I have asked, fearing that others will think you are weak. Rest when I say rest. Stop when I say stop. The world may call you lazy, but I call it obedience. And when I say move, step forward, though others may call you foolish, for they do not understand that you are walking in the rhythm of the living one. My child, the enemy will mock your stillness, whispering that you are missing out. But remember, the most precious things are never found out there. They are discovered in my presence. When you learn to rest in me, you will recover the rhythm your soul once lost. In that quiet space, I will mend, restore, and breathe new life into your being. For humanity was never created to live by strain, but by grace. My child, your mind is a battlefield. Every thought is a seed. It will grow either into the flowers of peace or the weeds of fear. Do not let your mind become a storehouse for the world's noise. Do not let the news, rumors, or judgments of others take the place of my word within you. Each day, thousands of voices will try to invade your heart, but only one leads to life, the voice that is mine. Learn to silence the rest. Keep your mind pure like a spring of living water, for from it flows the current of all your actions. When you think, according to my truth, your choices will align with life. When you choose rightly, strength will fill your days. When you live strong in me, you become a living testimony of light in this world. This is the divine cycle of life I desire for you to enter. But when fear and impurity overtake your heart, you give darkness the power to shape you, and soon you become someone I never intended you to be. My beloved, I know the world will mock those who walk by faith. They will say you are rigid, too spiritual, too different. But I tell you, this being different is the mark of being set apart. Those who belong to the light cannot move in rhythm with the dark. If you desire true health, true peace, and true freedom, you must be willing to go against the flow. For no one is ever healed while still clinging to the very thing that made them sick. My child, I did not call you out of darkness to place you in a cage. I called you out to make you truly free. Free from habits, from fear, from the pressures that silence your heart's deepest calling. I want you to live as gently as flowing water, yet as powerful as fire in the forest. And that can only happen when you live under the guidance of my Spirit. Do not be afraid of losing your way, for I have placed within you the compass of faith. Each time you pray, it will realign your direction. Each time you obey, it will draw you closer to the source of light. My beloved, when you learn to keep even your smallest choices in my light, you will avoid the deepest pits. Do not wait for everything to collapse before seeking me, for I long to walk with you in every moment, in your breath, your meals, your sleep, your gaze, and even in the way you love. That is the secret of those who live by grace. They do not divide the sacred from the ordinary, but allow every ordinary thing to become holy when I am present within it. And my child, if you can do this, you will no longer fear the darkness, for you will understand that light does not need to fight. It only needs to appear, and the darkness will withdraw on its own. When you dwell in me, you do not have to chase sickness away, for it finds no place to cling to. You do not need to argue with the world, for your peace itself becomes the most powerful testimony. My beloved child, I am calling you back to a life of loving discipline where every action, every decision, every breath carries my presence within it. Walk more slowly. Do not rush. Listen more deeply. Do not be quick to respond. Let each day you live become a prayer in motion. And when you live this way, you will see your body will grow strong, your mind will become clear, and your soul will rest in peace. For wherever I am exalted at the center, their life overflows. My beloved one, I know how many times you have tried to be strong on your own. You have wanted to appear resilient to prove that you could overcome every trial without leaning on anyone. But my child, that is not true strength. It is the burden of pride disguised as courage. You forget that even my son, when he carried the cross, fell 3 times on the road to Golgotha, and a stranger named Simon was appointed by me to help him bear it. If the Savior himself accepted help, why should you, my beloved child, believe that you must fight alone? Darkness multiplies most quickly in isolation, for it thrives in silence and secrecy. When you lock yourself behind walls of shame, you are nurturing its roots. The enemy delights in the silence of lonely souls, for in that stillness he can whisper his lies without opposition. He says no one understands you. If they knew, they would despise you. Better to keep this secret. And when you believe those lies, you retreat further into the shadows where he manipulates you unseen. But my child, I am calling you out from your hiding place. My light never shames you. It reveals the truth, so that you may be set free. When you bring your battle into the light, it loses its power. Darkness is only strong while it remains hidden. The moment you speak, confess, and open your heart, that very instant the chains begin to break. My beloved, I have placed people in your life not for you to distrust or compete with, but to uphold you. Someone to pray with you, someone to remind you to return when you stray, someone to hold your hand when tears fall. These are my instruments. Do you see it? Grace does not come only from the heavens. It flows through human hands. When I send love, I send it through souls that have once stumbled yet now stand to lift others up. Therefore, do not reject those I have sent to you simply because you fear they will see your weakness. It is precisely in your weakness that my strength is revealed. My child, confession is not humiliation, it is the bravest act of an honest soul. When you admit I was wrong, you are not lowering yourself. You are opening the door for my spirit to enter. Truth liberates, but only when you dare to face it. I do not ask you to expose your pain before the whole world, but I invite you to share it with those who belong to the light, those who will lift you, not trample you. That is why I created community, so that no one would have to fight in silence. Remember, my child, the enemy does not fear crowds, but he trembles before unity in the Spirit. When 2 or 3 gather to pray in my name, the darkness quakes. When one person stands beside you in faith, its power fades. When you open your heart, light shines into the deepest place you thought I would never touch. Light does not come to condemn, it comes to purify. It does not merely drive away the darkness, it transforms the very space where darkness once dwelled. My child, you think that keeping things hidden will keep you safe, but in truth, it only makes you more vulnerable. You stay silent because you fear being misunderstood, yet that silence gives the enemy room to speak in your place. It twists the truth, convincing you that you are unworthy, filthy, and abandoned by me. But I have never left you, not for a single breath. Even when you were deep in the pit of sin, I was standing above it, waiting for your hand to reach up so that I could pull you out. My child, confess, not to be shamed, but to be healed. When you speak out, you are moving away from the place where darkness hides. Speak to me first in the stillness of your heart. Let your tears mingle with your prayers, for your tears do not offend me. They are precious jewels I store in the vessels of heaven. Then if I urge you, go to the one I have chosen, a bearer of light, someone who can pray with you, who will lift you up in faith. Do not seek those who only speak what is pleasant. Seek those who speak the truth, even when the truth stings. My child, when you learn to live in honesty, you will discover the strength of being seen without being condemned. You will know the taste of unconditional love, the kind that flows from me, and reflects through the eyes of those who walk in light. Through that reflection, you will learn to love yourself as I love you. Shame will lose its grip, for you will understand that nothing within you makes me recoil. I have seen it all, and still I have chosen you. My beloved, step out of isolation. Walk among those who belong to the light, for light multiplies when shared. When you sing with them, when you pray with them, your soul will rise above the heaviness of the earth. The presence of a holy community does more than warm you. It becomes a spiritual armor that shields each other. When one is weak, the others lift them. When one stumbles, the whole body bends down to raise them up. This is how I protect you, not only through angels above, but through the people I have placed beside you on earth. My child, do not be ashamed of needing others. You were never designed for isolation. You were created to connect, to love, and be loved, to give and to receive. When you share, you do not lose value. You give courage. You plant seeds of faith in the hearts of others. When they hear your story, they will realize they too can be redeemed. They too can be healed. Thus, the very battle you once hid will become a living testimony of my liberating power. And my child, do not fear judgment. Those who truly belong to me will not look upon you with eyes of condemnation, but with eyes of mercy. As for those who use words to wound you, leave them to me. You need not defend yourself, for grace has already done that on your behalf. Stand firm in forgiveness, in love, and in light. For when you dwell in the light, all evil dissolves. Darkness has no refuge where truth resides. My dear one, let me tell you, this true strength does not lie in secrecy, but in the courage to step into the open. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the will to move forward, even when fear whispers loudly. When you bring your battles into the light, you declare before heaven and earth, I do not belong to the darkness. And at that very moment, heaven rejoices, for a lost child has returned home. Therefore, my beloved, open your heart, speak, share, pray with others. Rebuild the connection that darkness tried to make you forget. You will see that in communion I will breathe a fresh wind into your soul. You will feel a strength that does not come from effort, but from love flowing among kindred hearts. And in that unity, you will no longer be afraid, for you will know that you were never alone. I am with you, and I have surrounded you with those who will walk beside you into freedom. Thank you for listening to today's message. Remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so together we may continue receiving the living word, building unshakable faith, and walking daily in the boundless love of God. Amen.